From the moment that we saw Jura confront Himawari, we knew for sure that at least for the moment, Jura was not going to head into the Daikokoden dimension. However, you believe that he was going to do this. For the moment at least, he is going to have to confront Himawari, because his questions and everything that he has been sensing hasn't been Naruto in the Daikokoden dimension. However, it was Himawari, who appears to have Tail Beast chakra just like Jura. And because of this, in theory, Himawari is going to be the one who is going to have to protect everybody. Jura and Hidari have landed on Team 10. And we all know that Team 10 is clearly not going to win. So the only person who could see or have expectations to at least show something would be Himawari. And I do believe that we have the potential of seeing Himawari fight. A lot of people will say that we haven't really saw Himawari fight apart from that quick skirmish against Chocho, and if she couldn't beat Chocho, she is clearly not going to be an opponent serious enough for Jura to even have to try. But I would say that you are right to some extent, but there is some other potential information that if you pay attention to, you could come to the conclusion that Hima might at least bust out an ability that we have never seen before. Because there has been a certain amount of death flags that we have been currently seeing with Inojin. Inojin, like the classic side character, says that he's going to be the one to protect Himawari. And Inojin clearly isn't the MC, so it means that if he throws hands with Jura or Hidari, the hands are going to be thrown back with enough power that he will probably not make it past 3 to 2 chapters. As if Inojin tries to be the MC and go and confront Jura, he will actually end up dying. And this will be in the benefit and support of Himawari, as Himawari seems to have grown with Team 10 throughout the time skip. She doesn't seem as if she was trained by the Hyuga clan, as it is literally confirmed in her database that was released that she was trained by Team 10, which means that she was trained by Shikadai, Inojin, Chocho, Moegi, all these different people, but not the Hyuga clan. This may be one of the cards that Kishimoto has planned out for Himawari to care for Team 10, and thus if something happens to a character in Team 10 like Inojin, she would awaken great power and then be able to confront that threat. We know through different Jinchurikis like Naruto that when a Jinchuriki or somebody who possesses Tail Beast chakra, when they are pushed and get mad either by seeing somebody die or somebody says something hurtful, they can awaken powers that are unbeknown to anyone that we have seen in the series. This has happened multiple times with Naruto whenever he got mad, which often had to deal with Sasuke. But this could be the case with Himawari, as she also possesses Tail Beast chakra. So we could see either two things. The first option that we could see is the one that I'm currently discussing. Inojin actually ends up dying after trying to protect Himawari. We could potentially see something that we saw in the Cell Saga, where we had Cell, who was the villain and could clearly defeat Gohan, but he wanted to see Gohan's true power. And then he started to kill off the people around Gohan to make sure that Gohan actually tries. Which is when we then have Android 16 who ends up dying and getting destroyed by Cell, and Gohan finally reveals his true power. So maybe we could have something like this, where Jura starts to push Himawari towards awakening her abilities due to the curiosity that Jura has been showing with all the characters that we have started to see, and then we have Himawari awaken her ability and go crazy, and Inojin ends up dying in the process, but at least his death was actually worth something. It allowed Himawari to finally awaken her powers. But I won't lie, we haven't seen a lot of killing of even side characters like Inojin, so maybe Kishimoto has something else that he wants Team 10 to be able to do, as killing off a member of Team 10 right now, especially if it's not Moegi who does it, it's kind of distasteful and would be a bit of a missed opportunity for Kishimoto, which is why we could see something different but similar happen, where instead of it being a Cell type situation, we have a situation like with Frieza and Krillin. At first, Frieza attacked Krillin, and then Gohan believed that Krillin was actually killed by Frieza. Gohan then awakened an extreme amount of power, not Super Saiyan 2 levels of power, but it was an extreme amount of power which allowed him to actually land some solid hits on Frieza. But by making Hima believe that Inojin is maybe dead, she could awaken that power while having Inojin still be a part of the story by him not actually dying. because it makes perfect sense. A lot of people are mad that Himawari didn't train with the Hyuga clan, but she actually trained with Team 10. Now we're starting to see the payoff of some of the decisions that Kishimoto have made. Kishimoto may have made Hima train with Team 10 so that when she gets to fight Jura and something happens to Inojin or a various member of Team 10, she is finally able to show off her powers. Because if we're 100% honest, out of everybody in Team 10, I love Shikada, he's the GOAT, but Inojin has been around Himawari for most of the time skip. Inojin was the one who was flying Hima around, showing her the city, doing everything to make sure that she feels special. Hima was getting that treatment from Inojin, and I don't know if Boruto is happy of the fact that this is going on, but he doesn't know. So for Inojin, he can continue doing just that. And blinded by emotions, he might get reckless and try and do something a little too great for a side character and end up getting killed off, or at least being the boost to what allows Hima to demonstrate unbeknown powers. But that's not the only possibility. We have to be 100% frank, we could get another Damien-like situation. Because back in chapter 77, we had Damien make a statement about Himawari's hidden powers. But then, we didn't continue off that basis. We continued and we went to what Kawaki did in that very same chapter. So everybody forgot, or some people forgot, about what happened with Himawari in that chapter and Damien and focused on only Kawaki. So maybe you could have something similar happen, where Jura simply makes this comment, and then we have something completely different, which could end up being a fight between Hidari and Sarada, as Sarada is making her way towards Sasuke. So maybe that is the case where we see Sarada versus Hidari in the next chapter instead of seeing Himawari actually fight. But I really don't think it's gonna happen. Obviously, there always is a need for build-up when it comes to various characters, so I don't deny the fact that some build-up between Himawari actually using her powers and her not using it right now, a build-up could be necessary. But I do believe that we already got this type of situation with Damien, where Damien simply commented on the abilities that she had. Now, we go about a year in the future in real life, 3 years in the future in Boruto. I believe that we have been given enough time for Himawari showing her powers to be happening in the very next chapter. And with the side text that was given, it appears that this is actually going to be the truth. As if you read the side text, it deals with Himawari actually confronting Jura or having some sort of fight with Jura, whether it is long or pretty short. What needs more build-up, I would say, would be Hidari and Sarada. And I believe that we could still see Hidari versus Sarada, but it be more off the Itachi path that Kishimoto chose with Sasuke and Itachi. Because similarly to what Jura and Sasuke are doing right now, in a team of 2, Jura and Hidari pull up in the village, just like Itachi and Kisame did in the past. Although their intentions are different, we have a similar scenario that is presented. So why not have something similar happen, where Itachi literally beat Sasuke pretty bad, but this time it is Hidari versus Sarada, where as a build up for this fight happening in the future, Hidari beats up Sarada quite bad, maybe Sarada doesn't use her Mangekyou Sharingan or not, and then we have them fight in the future. This is what I believe could potentially happen towards build up for Sarada and Sasuke. But going back to Himawari, I believe that this fight has to show off some sort of potential. Maybe Kishimoto has some crazy plans in the story with Team 10 and they have some crazy type of ability, or maybe it is just Himawari. Himawari shows off the abilities that have been foreshadowed ever since chapter 77 and ever since Himawari knocked out Naruto and Kurama. So we're going to be discussing your theories on what exactly Hima's powers are. I already made a video discussing mine, so it is fair that we continue the rest of this video by discussing some of y'all's theories about Himawari's hidden powers. So the first comment that I'm going to be discussing is one made by Hernandez, and this is what he says. The only logical thing I see so far is that since Naruto had the chakra of every Biju, it went down to Himawari and Boruto, not to be mistaken with the actual Biju. And like we've seen with Ginkaku and Kinkaku, they have so much chakra that they were even able to release the fourth tail. and I completely agree with this take. And the fact that Himawari and Boruto are potentially affected by the Tail Beast chakra, it is not even a theory at this point, it is literally confirmed, because we have Himawari who has Naruto's whiskers, and we see that the whiskers that she has is something that everybody who has been affected by Tail Beast chakra, or at least Kurama's chakra, start to develop. As we see, the Genkaku brothers, they literally have those same whiskers. Naruto and his mother also have the whiskers, so it all makes sense that they have been affected by the Tail Beast chakra in general. And to be honest, if I am to add my own personal take, I really feel like Himawari inherited more of the Tail Beast side and Boruto inherited more of the Otsutsuki side, and it makes perfect sense. Just like Boruto inherited the blonde hair from Naruto and Himawari inherited the black hair from Hinata, Boruto inherited the Otsutsuki side of the genetics coming from both Naruto and Himawari, and Hima inherited the Tail Beast side of the genetics, which mainly come from Naruto and all the Tail Beast chakra that he has inherited. We know that Naruto received Hagoromo's chakra and Hinata received Hamura's chakra. When you combine both of these genetics, you would get Kage Otsutsuki levels of chakra. And this is where we have Boruto, who by Momoshiki is said to have inherited a lot of Otsutsuki genetics. Yo, you have inherited a lot of Otsutsuki DNA, and therefore you are a good vessel. And with Himawari, she hasn't shown those Otsutsuki genetics and that side of those powers, but she has been confirmed to have Tail Beast chakra, which means that she has inherited that Naruto side of the chakra, where Naruto was given chakra from all of the Tail Beasts and also his Tail Beast, which is Kurama. All of that combination is what led to Himawari inheriting Tail Beast chakra, or at least Tail Beast powers. The next comment is by Lil Mario, and this is what he says. So I've been looking at the picture of Mitsuki, Sarada, and Boruto in their respective modes. The picture is clearly Boruto, but Hima is the one with 2 Byakugans, and now seemingly the one who has the Tail Beast form. Therefore, I am wondering if Hima and Boruto will have some kind of fusion later on in the story. Like, will it be a fusion, or does this have something to do with Hima and she then functions as Boruto's Tail Beast? This is a very interesting theory, and I do understand exactly where he is coming from. We saw Sarada Mangekyu Sharingan design, which was released quite early by Kishimoto himself, and the same thing with the Sage mode. All of those designs that we saw later on ended up happening and was seen in the series. We saw Sarada and Mitsuki have their respective powers, but Boruto is never shown to have 2 Byakugans, and on the contrary, he is only shown to have 1. And because of this, we have theories like this that try and make sure that it fulfills Kishimoto's original concept. But the problem that there is here is that Kishimoto has once said that he forgot to give Boruto those 2 Byakugans that he was supposed to possess if he was to get this ability. But we're currently seeing that Boruto has the Jogan. So we have 2 Byakugans, a Jogan. I really don't think that's the case. What I think was the case is that Boruto was supposed to get that power, but they ended up changing that and having somebody in the family inherit the Otsutsuki side and another person inherit the Tail Beast side. And it seems like Himawari has inherited the Tail Beast side, as she literally fits the concept for that power to perfection. She literally has 2 Byakugans and she has Tail Beast power, while Boruto has 1 Byakugan and has only demonstrated Otsutsuki powers and has been reborn as an Otsutsuki, so his genetics have been completely changed. So this ability might not be an ability that Boruto has access to due to all the changes that he has endured, and we see a perfect candidate with Himawari to have those abilities due to her possessing Tail Beast chakra or powers and her having 2 Byakugans. The next theory is by HD, and he says that she will learn Uzumaki chains and twin line fists to subdue and pummel her opponents. And to be honest, I really like the idea of this. One thing that we really haven't seen, you have to think about it. Naruto, the MC of his series, he is an Uzumaki, but he has never used any Uzumaki powers. I've never seen Naruto use any Uzumaki-like powers that come from the clan, maybe apart from him using some stealing jutsu with Kurama, but he hasn't really tapped into his clan's abilities. But we let that slide. But now we have Boruto, Boruto is an Uzumaki but has now been reborn as an Otsutsuki, so we know that he's probably not going to go down that Uzumaki path of powers. So now we're seeing two generations where we are not going to see Uzumaki like powers. We didn't see that with Boruto and we didn't see that with Naruto. So maybe Himawari has that potential of demonstrating those abilities like the Uzumaki changed, and two Lion Fists would be a perfect ability for Hima to have in addition, because we really haven't seen Hinata's abilities being explored. Boruto inherited the Rasengan from his father. Obviously, we know that Naruto is not the one who taught Boruto how to use the Rasengan, but that was an ability that Naruto uses alongside the Shadow Clone Jutsu. We see all these abilities. However, we really haven't seen those Hyuga abilities or those abilities that come from Hinata. So I definitely agree with the fact that we have to have Hima at least show one of the abilities that she has inherited from her mother. But these are some of the abilities that you guys think she will awaken. But the real question is, what exactly is the power that she has within her? And to find the answer to that question, you have to watch this video right here.